Hello and welcome to what will almost certainly be the penultimate episode of the Daily Mario. This is my 8th day with Super Mario Maker, and today I've decided to take on a few new elements. I actually started out making an airship level with this one, but didn't quite pan out, so I switched over to a ghost house theme, started from scratch, and decided to try and make a slightly backward level. I wanted to try putting together a stage that involved fighting Bowser, but not just, dashing past him or shooting him with fireballs, but rather actually challenging Bowser and having to come up with a different way to take him out. Because this game Super Mario Maker doesn't allow you to create mid-level checkpoints, I decided to put the Bowser fight at the beginning of the stage as opposed to at the end where it would normally go, because it would really suck to go through an entire level and get to this drawn out fight with Bowser and then die. So basically, it's kind of a backward level where you face off against Bowser first and then complete the level, going through some different pipes and so forth. So what I've done here is created sort of a scenario where you basically have to fight Bowser. I guess you can collect the super mushroom and just run through him, and I suppose some people would do that. So that's something I'm still working on. But the idea is that you use these turtles, the Koopa Troopas, coming out of the pipe, and kick their shells and fight Bowser that way. The one problem with this is that there's no way to determine how durable Bowser is, and he takes a lot of turtle shells to take out. So I don't think this is a final stage design. There's got to be a better way to kind of keep the same spirit but make it a little less drawn out. It takes a long time to actually take out Bowser by just kicking Koopa shells at him. And I don't know, to me that's not ideal design. I like the idea of sort of an endurance fight where you have to keep fighting him over a long period of time and avoid his attacks, but I'm having a little bit of trouble balancing this so that there is some sort of interesting danger while you're fighting him. But at the same time, I don't want to make it too random, too dangerous. So yeah, it's still a work in progress. But I did need to show something for today. So here's what I have. I played around with a lot of different ideas for the way this stage is laid out. Originally, those yellow blocks there were intended to be conveyor belts. And actually, the alcove over Bowser, that was also conveyor belts. But it got really tedious and boring, so it just wasn't all that much fun, so I changed it to more standard blocks. And even now, you still have to do a lot of tackling Bowser with these turtle shells. It takes about, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 minutes to fight him just by taking these turtles. So I guess I could move the pipe so that it's closer and you don't have to run back and forth as much. I don't want to make this too much of a gimme. I don't know. I really wish there were a way for you to be able to determine how durable Bowser is. I feel like that would make that would make this battle more reasonable. If you could take him out in like 5 or 6 turtle shells, that would be fine. Anyway, so once you beat Bowser, there's a vine in a question block, and you take that up to a warp pipe, and the warp pipe takes you to another room. And from here on out, it's actually pretty straightforward. There are definitely hazards. I made use of dry bones and Koopa Troopas and flying Koopa Troopas, but nothing too unreasonable. If you play slow and steady, it should be pretty easy to finish. I also, now that the game has unlocked basically everything, I decided to give some architectural detail to this stage. So if you look, every interactive like environmental element has a background of some sort, like the tiles back there. Everything is propped up on columns or slats. It's unlocked warp pipes, it's unlocked doors. Warp pipes take you between 2 subsections of stages. Doors take you to different points within a single area of a stage. So you're kind of jumping around in this one. There are a lot of gaps separating everything, but it's pretty reasonable. Anyway, so this is the final pipe here, and that takes you to the last area. I've since redesigned the coins there and so forth. But yeah, you basically start out fighting Bowser and then complete the stage. Like I said, this is still a work in progress, and I went back and did some refining on some of the design. You can see here me moving around coins and so forth. I like the idea of this, but it still needs some work, mostly to get around the fact that Bowser is a little bit boring to fight. I think there's a good idea in there, and I guess I could experiment with Bowser Jr. and see if he's any easier to fight. But he moves around more unpredictably. It's easy to kind of pin Bowser in that area and keep him from breaking free and making things really difficult for you. But Bowser Jr. can do a spin attack, so that's no good. Anyway, yeah, I'll keep playing around with this one. Like I said, I think there's a pretty good concept here. It just needs to be fine-tuned. There is another alternative for this stage, kind of in the spirit of some of those like Super Mario Brothers 2 levels where you can basically skip immediately to the end if you know what you're doing, crawling under the sand or whatever. This level also has a complete shortcut if you explore a little bit. See, there's kind of an alcove up there above the warp pipe. If you go up here by jumping off a turtle shell, then you'll find some invisible blocks, one of which has a fire flower in it, so you can use that to fight Bowser if you want. There's also a Starman, which you can use to just completely cheese through here. So the idea is for you to kind of fight Bowser normally the first time you play this, and then after that say, I wonder what else is up there. Kind of explore, poke around, see what you can find, and then take a really quick shortcut. If you sort of do some comparisons here with the previous playthrough, you can see little things that I've tweaked. But mostly stuff like this, I think, works just fine on its own. It's really the Bowser battle that's either too easy or too drawn out, and there needs to be some kind of happy medium. But once you cheese Bowser with the Starman, the level's pretty much the same, except you have a fire flower already, so you don't need to get it up in this little self-contained room. So anyway, I would welcome some feedback on how I could make the Bowser fight more interesting. I'd like to do just kind of a series of different Bowser battles, so it's not just him standing in front of the bridge with the axe. Like there's got to be something more unique, more interesting that can be done with Bowser, while not being completely protracted and boring. So finding that midpoint, that's what I'm really after right now. Anyway, so like I said, that's the next to last episode of the Daily Mario. I'm trying something a little more advanced. Didn't necessarily work out, but it's getting close. So tomorrow I'll try one last wacky idea, and we'll call it a series. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to check out the site and our YouTube channel tomorrow for the final episode, in case you care.